All right, we are live. Welcome in. If anybody is in here, see if we get some audio today. Let's see. We'll give it some time. Instead, let's start it with maybe some push-ups. I did push-ups the last couple of times. That seems to work. Here we go. Get us started. Ah. 6. We did 6. Let you know I did lock out. Okay. If anyone's still there, I am here. So everyone knows push-ups, they make you 0.7%, 0.07% faster. So yeah. In my head, sometimes I don't believe in visualization really that much as people make it out to be like this big thing. They're like, you just need to visualize yourself being successful. Well, it's like I've visualized myself being successful in every single race I've run. And some of them I was successful and some of them I wasn't. And it didn't really matter if I visualized myself. And I think the problem is I only really visualize it going really well and then like optimal. And then really dramatic, going to the finish. I'm gonna get a backlight going here. No, that didn't work. There it is. Beautiful. Get some color in this thing. Anyway, so I picture it going really well. And then if it doesn't, it's like I didn't picture it not going perfectly. So anyway, one of those scenarios, this is this is my ADD brain. And one of those scenarios, they're all dramatic and it's like I'm pushing and I could see the clock. I could see it going, whatever my A goal is, it's ticking closer to it. But if I put a sprint finish in, I'll come in just underneath it. And then there's this lion's roar of elation and joy. And then I just drop into burpees and I just start doing like burpees. But every time I get to the end of the marathon, the last thing I feel like doing is a burpee. Cause like if I drop, I ain't getting up unless I got help with a medical professional, a medic. We're going to get the medical tent, right? Anyway, Morgan, the running guy's in here. How are the taper crazies going midlife? Let's talk about that. By the way, coffee, we don't do it after 12. We don't do coffee after 12. I saw this interview with Rich Roll did with Stephen Walker. So it's 5 hours long if it's Rich Roll, and it was fascinating. And the Spark Notes, the Cliff Notes, the short, if that's still a thing, very midlife reference, is that the half-life of caffeine is 12 hours and it disrupts your sleep. So this coffee I'm drinking now at midnight, is half of it is going to be flowing through the system and limiting my recovery a little bit. So do we do it anyway? We are doing it anyway. What was the question? How are the taper crazies going? Okay, so last time on Sunday I came out with a video. It just taper crazies. Last live stream on Friday was called Taper Crazies or Taper Tantrums, and then or Taper Sanies, right? And I really wasn't at that point experiencing too much of it. And I don't know if it's because I mocked it, but then it started to happen. And immediately after the live stream, my left knee started to ache in the front, kind of around. So I've gotten an ache on the outside, kind of related to IT band syndrome. But this is, and I've had patella tendonitis flare up in a different block, but this was new to me. And it was the classic runner's knee. And so they recommend Dr. Google, my old coach, Chat Daniels. He said, look, you're going to want to do wall sits. You're going to want to do clamshells. You're going to want to do, because mentally I was cooked. I was like, oh man, everything's been going so well. Now I can't run Boston. Everything is terrible. And I've felt this before, and I know it's phantom because like in Houston, my shins were aching so bad like 2 or 3 days before. I was like, I can't run this race. This is crazy. And everything was fine. So I made a video and I was like, everything's going to be fine, Andrew. Everything's going to be fine. So 954 sets of wall sits later and about 3,000 clamshells. and whatever else chat said, I felt fine. Took 2 days off. I could have run the second day, but we got balloons again. Yes, happy birthday. Oh, man, it's my birthday every time those things go off. It's great. What a celebration. They say Boston's a celebration, but it's really this live stream. So I did all of that and I ran after 2 days of rest, 7 easy miles, and it felt perfect. Everything felt great, except I had some DOMs from the quads and from my glutes, and just because I did 3,000 sets of body weight exercises to fortify the body. So, crisis averted. And taper week, there's always the one run where you warm up and then you put a little bit of pace at marathon effort and then you cool down. And I did that yesterday and everything was still working fantastic and fine, which means all systems go for Boston. We're going to launch it. We're going to go not quite full send. And I can't get really excited. Yeah, we're going partial send. We're going mostly send. We're gonna kind of send it and then like beat my chest for that. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Last time it wasn't taper crazies. I overcooked it. I did for the Marine Corps Marathon. And I knew that I did, and I took time off. And then when I was trying to run, I wasn't hitting my paces. I was off and I was fading. It did not I couldn't sleep at night. I was cooked on that case. So all of that to say, right, I didn't know where the line was. I found out where the line is. I'm an idiot if I don't learn from my lesson. I did 7 weeks in October of 80-mile weeks. It's like the top end, no scale back weeks, and I just fried it. So this time I did a 74-mile week, 3 80-mile weeks, then a scale back week, 65, back up to 80, and then the taper, 65 and whatever. So a total of 4 weeks of 80 and then a 74 and 3 65s, learning lessons. What's it going to yield? I don't know. It sounds like Christopher Walken. But let's see who else is in here. Stevie76, heard from Coach Fox lately. I heard from him a few weeks ago, and then in the Discord, and he wrote my training for the taper for those 3 weeks, but not since then. But we're only working up until Boston. And I don't usually ask him for clarity on, 6 easy. What does 4 out of 10 mean? Like, we've been working together for a year, so have a pretty good feel of what's going on here. Aaron Davis is in here. What's up, my man? My challenge for you is to see if you can top my sprint finish photo. Now, those of you who don't know, Aaron Davis just ran the Jersey City Marathon in a PR of 3:26, I believe, in some change. We're going to pretend to ring a fake bell. I say I'm going to bring a little bell, but then I never get a little bell. It's on my list. So congratulations, Aaron. We're going to try to catch a few shakeout miles. Aaron's my neighbor. We're going to try to catch some shakeout miles tomorrow before we take off for Boston on Friday. Nicholas is in here. He says, midlife wanka. What's up, Nick? Man, I can't wait to go to Boston. I want to hear it. I want to know it's real. I want like when you go to Texas and you're just hoping someone's like, howdy, y'all. What y'all doing? Okay, well, we can really get you what you need, but I'm going to talk a little bit slower and it's going to be thick. And that's just how we talk down here. That's what I want from Boston. You parked it? I parked the car in the harbor. I parked it. SC Trainer, the SC Pacer. What are you wrong with? The SC Pacer. That. I just want to be immersed in that. I don't know if it exists in the city, if it's more of a suburbs thing or what. But uh, you know, I'm looking forward to that if it happens. Frank's in here. Frank says you would think that knowing the taper crazies were coming would let you get out of having them, but it doesn't work like that. Oh, it's my least favorite part. It's my lead by far. Not just because I'm running less. It's really just like all of the achiness. It's like, why doesn't this happen when I'm running 3 straight 80-mile weeks? You know, the legs were dead on the third week at the end of that long run for sure. So I can't not taper. Gotta taper. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if this 20%, 40%, 60% Fitzinger thing works. And technically, I cut it a little bit more because I took those 2 extra days off. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to keep the muscle tension there. Buzzwords. Steve Magnus said, keep the muscle tension. Strides, hill sprints. Not gonna do hill sprints. Plenty of hills waiting for me in Boston. Halo Eraser is in here. Wait, always full send. Yes, always full send. That's what ends up happening. But I need to tell myself to not go full send because I always go one notch above what I think. So, like, I'm telling myself I've got a strategy. If you guys are running this race in Boston, please let me know what your strategy is in here. The strategy. Is that big? Is that Minnesota, Kenosha? You go to bag? Yeah, put it in the bag. It's in the bag. He's in the barn. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so the strategy, like I went for the first couple of miles. I know that I want to go out like gray zone, but like mid zone 3 means I'll probably push into low marathon pace. Right. I mean, we're talking like 5 beats a minute on average, like that kind of effort more. I'm not going to do it by heart rate, And then when I say, oh, the next couple miles, I want to go low marathon pace, like the start of a marathon, that'll probably go up into like the mid marathon pace. I definitely am not going to be pushing early on in Boston because it's going to be a long day. And there's some 800 feet of elevation. Now, I did 800 feet of elevation, 860 or something, and an 18-mile run, trying to keep an even pace, like a Fitzinger long run where you're just running moderate, like steady, like I think it was probably around a 7:10 pace. The gap was maybe a 7:19, but I kept a lot of rollers, kept all the way through it, but it is a lot. So it would be nice to spread that out over 26, but we'll see. Morgan, the running guy, says, nice. Glad you are feeling better. Good luck. Thank you. Yes. Just happy to be able to run one fresh. Panos is in here. What's up, Panos? Classic paranoia symptoms. Everything is looking optimal. Yeah. Let's check out the weather. It's looking pretty good. Monday, it says a low of 39, high of 59. Feels like is there. So the race doesn't start for me in the second wave. Not if I was wave 1, I would have had an accent there. I would have gone British on you. Well, wave 1. The 5th corral starts at 45 degrees, except I would say Celsius because I think in England they're going Celsius on that one. We're looking at 10 o'clock, 50 degrees, actual 49, 10:30 is the same. Well, no, it ticks up. 52. I could tell you guys, I normally, like this morning was a very cool morning in the 60s. It's still 60. It's still humid. And a lot of times it's higher 60s and 70. So I can tell you that's going to feel very good for me. Wind, we got to check, which I'm sure all this stuff could change a lot. Winds all over the place. Southeast, then blowing in or east, no, southwest, then it's blowing east, then it's blowing north. It's all over the place. So who knows what that means? But it does look promising. Frank's in here. He says, Matt Fox, isn't he in jail in Japan? I was listening to a Kafuzi live stream, and I don't know, I was actually in one. I actually had time off, and I was in it, and I think they were talking about that. I don't know anything about that. Sound like Trump. I don't know anything about that. That's the first time hearing of it. I don't know anything about it. But he did write me the thing, so I don't know if he is in jail, then he's got access to Discord or something. I don't know, but I can't confirm or deny that. Martha's in here. What's up, Martha? Saying hi and listening while I stretch and pack. See you in Boston. All right, Martha. I'm looking forward to it. Are you packing some Brooks? Anytime someone has a Brooks question, I'm always like, is Martha in here? Let's get this Brooks. I'm on that max stack kick though, or the max line is where it's at for right now. So you're leaving tomorrow morning. Nice. You got a big weekend. I'm leaving on Friday afternoon. If you got a lot of kids, then you know the routine because I gotta separate them. I'm one of 6 personally. Okay, so my parents didn't go on a lot of cruises. They didn't go to a lot of places, but when they did, they had to do like drop offs, and they coupled us. You take 2 of them. You take these 2, and we'll eat those 2. How about this one, but with that one, and they'll cancel each other out. Here, you take those. And then there's the dog, right? And then we're just not paying for like a dog place. So it's like, okay, the dog's going to Steph, and he's got to do a drop off over here. We're separating all 3, right? Someone's going with Dia Gracie, right? So someone's going with my sister Stacy. Like we got to conquer and divide. There's going to be a lot of drop offs happening on Good Friday. It's going to be good for sure. So, you know what I was thinking? This is so silly. It's where my mind goes. It was like some mantras. Like, guys, you got some good mantras. It's always like, I need some good mantras and I don't have any. And then I'll have some, but they kind of go in and go out. And then I'm like, what was that good one that I had that one time I thought would be great? 6 months ago. And I'm going to write it and I'm just going to see it. I'm going to have my top 5, 6 mantras. And I'm going to be dialed in all the time. So I've been thinking about mantras, and I've been thinking was like, oh, like it's Easter. So like you could have some of those Bible verses just really hit different. You know what I mean? They slap you, said, boom, he is risen. Oh, right there, I could do all things. Just wow, bam, mile, whatever. I'm there. So if you've got some good mantras, throw them in there because I'm gonna need it amidst the suffering. One of my favorite things, by the way, guys, I count them whilst I notice it. It's a thing. European, like British, a lot of British YouTubers, run tubers, people on YouTube from England. You know what I mean? They say whilst, and I just can't get enough of it. I never say whilst. And so when I hear whilst, I'm like, I check mark it. Philly Bowden, she does it. She does a lot. I like when she does that. Frank's in here. He says, what are you putting in your race check bag? Is that the one that I'm going to take up to Athletes Village? I haven't put a lot of thought into this thing. I should have. I was going to put a bagel, but I heard that there's like endless bagels there, and so, I mean, bagel. It's a try nothing new on race day, but I'm pretty sure it's spread. Yeah, I would be okay eating a bagel there. I know that I want to have like 2 handhelds and drink one in the 2 hours leading up to it with full of not scratch, but precision fuel and hydration. Have a mix. I have a mix. Tastes like lemon. Not the best decision, but whatever. I'm okay with it. And then have another one. I heard you only get like a half gallon. What's that? Quarter gallon quart. You get something. Your bag's not much. I heard this story, like you should wear a poncho, like a trash bag with a hole in it, take a Gatorade can or bottle so you can pee in it if you're on the bus and you just can't hold it. But you could take a towel, but you have to carry it under your arm because it doesn't fit. But they allow you to take a towel, and then you can take a towel up there so you have some place to sit at Athletes Village. So if you mean when I'm going to drop off before I get on the bus and go, I don't know. I heard there's not a ton of goodies there. So I'm gonna have to come up with some goodies. Man, that when I was Forrest Gump and I drank that Dr. Pepper after, that slap for sure. So we're definitely gonna do that again when I finish. But I heard that you have to wait like 30 minutes, maybe. Frank, how long did you have to wait whenever you got your bag at the end when you finish? Does it really take that long? In Houston, I was surprised. In Houston, they hoarded us, and then you like cattle, and then you're in a chute, and then you got to go through the convention center, and I was just like hobbling. It wasn't max effort. That was definitely full send. So I was surprised because I was so much pain in that one. All right. Martha says, my legs were DOA along with the rest of me through yesterday and today. Suddenly I feel good. So Martha's working through some paranoia, taper crazies. So that's good. Kubang's in here. Yo. You're going to catch my 5K on Saturday. Boston plans for the weekend. You bring up a great thing. That one starts at 9 a.m., right? Okay. I might have to call an audible and go catch you on the 5K. And Chase, do you guys watch him? Captain Chase. I think that's his channel. He's another fellow midlifer. Just a real dude, very raw, just keeps it real. He's running the 5K. That's just like me. He's gonna run the marathon too, but the 5K is his focus. I want to come see you guys. And I had signed up for a Hoka Sage shakeout. You could try on the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0s, which I think is going to be maybe one of my favorite shoes of the year. But Kuvang is greater than Chase is greater than a shoe, but hands down. I want to come see you do the 5K for sure. But if it's at 9 o'clock, we can do it. But here's the deal. I land Friday night. My flight got delayed. So I get in Friday at like 9. I'm going to get to the hotel. I'm going to wake up. I got to find a specialty coffee shop because I'm bougie and I got to sip it with the pinky up. And then I'm going to have to go to these events. I'm going to go to all these events without having gone to the expo. And I'm going to tell you guys, that is a big ask for a midlife guy because I'm old. Okay. I leave music shows during the last overplayed song from any band, which you're tired of hearing because you've heard it a million times. You don't even like that song from the band, right? Like Blink-182, it's Damn It. It's like, I'm out. I could beat this crowd. I could hit the parking lot. I'm out. I'm home before that parking lot has even emptied. And I live an hour away. We are cruising. I like to have things in order, not a super organized person, but like you gotta do the big rocks first. Okay. So like I get there, I should go to the expo. I know the expo is not closing on Saturday night. Like it will by Saturday night. It's gonna be open Sunday. It's gonna be open all day. It's right there. I can theoretically go to any event and still hit the expo. But I'm gonna know back here, my third eye, not so blind. I'm gonna be like, I don't have everything done yet, but I'm gonna do it because there's a schedule. It's a busy schedule. So if the 5K, I gotta go catch. I'm gonna audible to the 5K for sure. Matt Byers in here finally made it on. Good luck to everyone running Boston. Thank you, Matt. I considered running in the Nike Rebel Fly 4, but I'm not going to. There's our Nike Rebel Fly 4 quota for the day. Martha's strategy for Boston. She says, strategy, first miles, I'll let go, but not push. I'll be faster than goal marathon pace, but keep it relaxed. Thanks to gravity. Then trying to average goal marathon pace, except go only by effort on the inclines. That is a wonderful strategy, Martha. Martha says on regarding the Brooks, she's only recently using Brooks, the Hyperion stuff. Oh, okay. I do like the Hyperion Max 1. I think I'll like the Hyperion 2. I got way too many shoes, guys. You've way too many. When Boston's over, I'm gonna put a billion miles on the Hyperion, the Glycerin Max. Put a billion miles on the Hoka Mach X2, the Super Blast 2. Almost forgot about that thing. I'm gonna see at what point that one, like how many licks does it get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? For some people, it never unfirms, softens. That's a word. It never softens. We're gonna see. I'm gonna Super Blast 2. I'm gonna take it all the way there. Puma Mag Max. Yeah, I'm excited to run in all of these shoes because and I feel like an idiot. Like, wait a second, I made a best and worst of 2024, and these are all the best shoes of 2024. I somehow didn't run in any of them, right? So, Rebel V4, I'm going to get up there and see how it performs. Some guy traded me some shoes. So, I've talked myself out of this shoe for a long time. If for those are listening later but not live, I'm holding the Nike Vaporfly 3. And I'm really eager. Like, whenever I couldn't get the Alpha Fly, I thought about getting the Vaporfly 3. Whenever there's just like a low, like maybe I could talk myself into it, but it wasn't a showstopper. And I don't know what that means. Maybe a shoe stopper. I don't know. There's a joke there. Anyway, no one said stop what you're doing and go do this thing. Like somebody reads Harry Potter, like I remember I'm old walking out of the Matrix and just running to everybody that I knew and being like, stop what you're doing, go to the movie theater right now and go watch this movie. You're just about to change your world. You have two sections of your life, everything that happened before this movie and everything that happened after that movie. And no one said that to me about the Vaporfly 3. Nobody was like, oh my God, right? The Vaporfly 2, lots of stuff, but lots of hype. Not the 3 so much. So I always talk myself out of the shoe. Now I have it. I'm not gonna run in the Rival Fly 4, nor am I going to run in the Vaporfly 3. Nothing new. On race day, Martha's gonna be running in her last pair of Endorphin Pro 3s for a PB, no doubt. Halo Eraser's in here. He says the kid situation is a full-blown war plan. It is. I think I mentioned it last time, but before Boston, all of the people housing the children all called out all at the last second. They're like, "Hey, we've something came up." And I was like, oh, "Okay, CPS might be watching these kids." oh, anyway. Frank said the wait at the buses to pick up your bag wasn't that bad for me. Oh, okay. Sweet. That's good to know. And I know when I finished the only other major I have run, which was Chicago, you got a mile before you get to the reunited the little lawn area. So the grassy knoll, if you will, it takes forever. It was the longest walk of my life. It was that exaggerating, but so Philip Watts is in here. What's up, Philip? Saying hi. Hi. How you doing? Hola. Just finished a true trail run. All right. What shoes did you run in, Philip? I bought one pair of trail shoes. I took a guess. I guessed wrong. I guessed the Saucony Peregrine 11. This was years ago. That thing is heavy duty. It is firm. I ran in it one time, twice, when it snowed in 2021. Haven't run in them since. You got to be going through some terrain. We don't have terrain here, really. So, I mean, you got to get in there in the sticks. It's thick. Yuck. Frank Senior says, you do want some clothes checked because the thermal blanket thing wasn't enough for me, especially if your hotel isn't at the finish line. It's not. I'm in Brookline. I'm 2 miles out. That's really good thinking. I'm definitely going to do that. Maybe I'll stuff my Kafuzi hoodie in there, the rabbit hoodie to keep me warm. We'll see how that works. Kuvang Center says, yes, hi. I think the 5K is at 8 a.m. though. But yeah. Oh man, 8 a.m. Come on, I'm gonna be up. I wake up every day at like 5. So that's cool. Oh man. Frank says, my hotel was in Cambridge. Cambridge. It was in Cambridge. And the walk across the bridge was nearly as hard as the marathon. I have seen some reels, maybe more, or maybe some memes, like jabbing at the Boston. Like you can tell someone's from Boston, and they're all just like walking backwards down some stuff because they've down some hills or stairs because they're destroyed from the hills. Um, Martha is in here. She says, Frank, I agree. I was shaking after finishing on one of the cooler times. Luckily, my husband and friends meet me with extra clothes, so I don't need to use the bag. So yeah, I've never been cold when I have finished, but I don't want it to be the first time and then I don't have something to keep me warm. Martha says the expo gets increasingly crowded each day. Yeah, I was hoping to sneak in there on Friday, but my flight got delayed, and so it's all good. And then I was thinking everyone probably goes at the beginning when it first opens on Saturday, but maybe not because they'll all be at the 5K. But rather than be crafty, maybe I'll just go be supportive. Uh, Rob Thompson's in here. What's up, Rob? Andrew just dropped a Third Eye Blind reference. Midlife legend. LFG, Andrew. Cheering for you on the BAA tracker. Stay off them top sales. Not too good for your leg, I hear. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows about the BAA tracker. I'm not going to say this right. Georges? Do you just say George Avidu? Have a hot cross bun on Friday. A hot cross bun. Is that a sweet? It sounds delicious. I want one. I'll probably eat 2. Es Fiesta in San Antonio, Es Fiesta. We go hard with Fiesta. There's lots to eat. The office is having a potluck. So I may stop by the office, load up before I hit the airport. So Kubanks in here said traded in reference to the Vaporfly 3, but did you trade it on the Supwell app? Indeed, I did. Not my app. It's Joanna's app, the Supwell app. So I forget sometimes to pitch it as much as he does. So yeah, the Supwell app. Ooh, someone Nova Blast 5s just landed in my size for $90, maybe. I don't need it. I got too many shoes, but I mean, 10 miles, it's like new, $90. Nova Blast 5. I have the first 4. I am going to run in it later. Maybe, I need to close the app out. So you just don't look at it. Don't look at it. Frank says, I felt like the gauntlet after Marine Corps Marathon was really long. Yeah, well, that last little 0.2 doesn't help. This is, you hit that incline and go through. For some reason, I had no idea when I signed up. I put the time that I wanted to run or whatever, and they put me in the old person, I don't know what it's, athletes village type of thing. They put me in some place with like a tent. I had a tent with like really actually fast people. And I don't know what I was doing in there. And I felt like that one, it was a little bit closer than the other one. So it wasn't as bad. Stevie76 says CPS bingo square. Got it. You calling out bingo? You got CPS down, right? We're not talking about the electric stuff. We're talking child protective services. Right. You definitely don't want to leave your kids home alone. Martha says, in the Back Bay, be sure to check out Italy for carb loading. It's in the Prudential building. You can eat there, but there's everything imaginable to take out too, from pizza by the slice to pastries. I'm gonna take a picture of that because I'm gonna forget, Martha. I got a lot going on, you know. And then when I land, I'm gonna be like going through all my tips and notes to see what everybody said about where to eat. My man Nick told me about where to get some good bougie coffee, some artisan coffee. So, um, we'll hop in there. Philip Watt says Asics Gel Ventura 9 for his trail shoe. Bought to the hike with wife as a budget shoe. First trail running of the year. All right. All right. Shannon Sides is in here. What's up, Shannon? Hey, midweek co-fam. Yeah, we're sliding in there. I think I listened to yesterday's Monday's live stream. There won't be one tomorrow. So, this is it. Sometimes I'll start listening because I do have time, but then I don't have anything queued up to listen to in my later, but not live the next day for the run. So then it's like, oh, I'm not going to listen to it now because then I won't have anything for tomorrow. So, of note, I always have stuff on the to watch later, but then I just get so sick of it. I overtrain my running YouTube list. Martha says plenty of working people can't get there until later on Saturday or even Sunday. Oh, that makes sense. We'll try to hit the expo early Saturday. Ultimately, I'm trying not to do too much on the weekend. And basically, that's it. Here's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at that 5K slash, if that's at 8 a.m., then to the Hoka event at 9 and to the expo. That's it. Saturday, that's it. Right. Sunday, the Kafuzi Rabbit shakeout at 9. And that's it. That's all they got planned. Just, I still want to run a good race. I was never really a believer in the stay off your feet, don't be on your feet too long. And I'm like, I walk every day. I walk a lot every day. Garmin used to tell me 10K plus, like whatever, 13, whatever. Like, come on, walking around. But I walked around Buffalo and that came back to bite me a lot, along with other things. Getting dressed up like Forrest Gump certainly did not help. Martha says there's a Trader Joe's across the street from the expo to pick up carbs too, pretzels or whatever you like. That's good. I did look up yesterday for the first time where my hotel is in Brookline, and then there's a Trader Joe's right next to that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna stock up right there too. I'm like 2 miles from the start, so then it's like I got to look up the green line. I got to look up, okay, what's available, and I had to do that in DC too for like Marine Corps. There are certain stations you take and certain ones that are closed. And so then they drop you off at certain points. All this information is really readily available if you just Google it or you look it up. And there's people there to help you navigate it if you are thinking about running Marine Corps on its 50th anniversary next year. And I am going to make those videos over the summer, like the mile by mile and then like the course breakdown and like how to get around. I was a little too fried after the race to do it, but I'm definitely going to do it. Hold on. In anticipation for the 5-0 for Marine Corps. So, but I started looking that up for Boston, and I'm sure there's a million volunteers. It's like the only thing going on that Monday. So I'm sure there's people to help you find out where you need to go. And so, yeah. I think I saw in a video for Boston that people were not wearing the race shoes. They had the race shoes like tied around their neck. And I guess if I was like, maybe it was rainy, but it wasn't rainy. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to wear the race shoes because they're going to be wearing it to the buses, then wearing it to, like, you got your race shoes on for, I don't know, 4 hours or however long that is. So then it's like you just wear regular shoes that are more comfortable and then you switch them at the last second and then you just toss your shoe. I have plenty of shoes. I mean, original Brooks Tempos, Martha, close your ear. Like original Hyperions. I could just wear those and then toss them. Shoes I've got retired that are still there. I could probably toss them, but I don't know. It seems a bit excessive. I do have some throwaways. I went to Goodwill yesterday and I brought my 6-year-old The first time he ever been to, like the 14-year-old's on Timu. Timu's got all the deals. Like 20 cents here, a little trinket. You could get a little thing for 40 cents, $2. Pretty amazing, Timu. You just got to be patient and you never know. But Goodwill, you also never know. But he loved it. And then he was like, this one's $5.99. Dad, can I $2.99 this one? And so he got a little puppet thingy and a little tiny piano. Mind blown. With kids, it's the little things. Toddlers, you got staples, balloons, Play-Doh. Balloons. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. So good. Um, what bubbles? Bubbles. That's it. Those things get you through. You don't need the big Disney plushies. You don't need all that stuff. In fact, when my oldest turned 2 years old, we like me and the neighbor built out this big playground thing in the backyard that she could go through and everything. And we got it from another buddy. Had to take it apart and build it. We built it at like 9 to 11 at night. I mean, we were doing it with the light on, and we're like, yeah, this is gonna be so great. She's gonna wake up tomorrow and she's gonna be like, wow, look at this gigantic playground in my backyard suddenly. Only she's 2. And so when we were finished, I said, whatever you do not put a balloon on it, because she's gonna come into the backyard and she's gonna be like, balloon, balloon. And then that's it. And then we're done. So yeah, happy birthday to her and balloons for sure. So but yeah, it's the little things. Anyway, went to Goodwill, got some throwaway clothes. That's where I was with that. I remember now. Got a hoodie, got a long sleeve, would toss it away. I learned my lesson in Chicago. I could be cold. I can be cold for a little bit. It's fine. And in the Austin International half, it was 27, feels like 11. I can be cold. It's okay. Troy's out there with no shirt. He's got no shirt. He's not dead. He's going strong. Okay. He's got a little bit more mass than me, but I could go. I could be cold just for a little bit. When I start running, I'll feel better. I was surprised Houston by the 800 meters into Houston when it was 40 degrees. I was like, this is too much. I had the warmers on, the sleeve. I started tossing them, beanie, tossing it, right? Gloves, you keep the gloves for a little bit, but really it's a lot warmer once you start running than you think. So this would be 50 degrees. It's going to be perfect. I don't think I'll need the throwaway clothes, up until right at the start, but I heard also that when you start walking from Athletes Village over to the start line, they start coming up to you and saying, hey, clothes, 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 give me your clothes. You could donate your clothes, but you don't have to donate then, because like when you get to where you're going, there's more porta johns or porta potties, depending on how you like to call your toilets. And then you could donate at that time too. So you don't need to feel the pressure of the donation when you're walking. But if it's 50 degrees, I would probably just donate and be cold for a little bit. Let's see here. Kuvang says, don't forget the Dubai chocolate on Newberry, the Nut Factory. I can take a picture of that one too. That one's for the wife. My wife. We're going on that one. If you're in Houston, if you go run the Houston Marathon, find the chocolate bar. There's a couple. There might be one. There's one in like near Rice, near the museum district. And there's one probably a lot more north. Definitely check out the one down. I mean, they're good, but it is great. All the chocolate that you can imagine, and you get some good coffee with it too. Highly recommend. Nice little treat. I think I mentioned SATX last time. So if you didn't listen last time, I'll just say briefly, the course came out for the SATX marathon, same weekend as CIM. I know a lot of you guys probably are never going to run the San Antonio Marathon. It is not a flat and fast course. I was hoping it would be complementary to Chicago, like you or Houston. Like competing with Houston. It's the fastest course in the South. It's not. It's like, come experience San Antonio. You will run across our historic districts. You will run up a dam and you will come down and see the Alamo. And by the missions, it's actually flat, but it's it's very touristy. It's more of like a destination marathon than that. And that was going to be my PB race for my A race for the year. And it looks like the hills start at like 16. That's to about 21. And then from 21 down, it's all downhill. Sound familiar? Yeah. It's like the Boston of the South, except it's not a world major. Yeah. You want to run it still? Yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on down. The running event's the week before. So I'm going to run it. And I think Ryan Miller's going to run it. I interviewed him on the channel. He's a 214 guy. So when I say Ryan Miller's going to run it, I mean Ryan Miller's going to win it. That's what I think. Martha says Sunday is when I will be looking for you, the Rabbit Coast Shakeout. There'll be a ton of people there. So please look for me there too. Martha, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna see you not on a treadmill, running in real life. We'll see. Tia Gracie cuts hair. So I went and saw her. She cut off all my hair. And so I might have a backwards hat of some sort on. So my peak stride hat, but I'll be there. And I'm gonna try to capture it. Not gonna do a big Boston video afterwards. I'm gonna do one with the race, but I'm gonna include a little bit. It'll be like more music montagey than here's where you go. This like so many people have already done that and they've done it really well. That I'm not gonna do that. And I don't have a lot of the course footage as well. I will do a recap one separate as well, but I want to include you, Martha, and everybody else that I see there in the video for Boston, because it's not just about a race time. Shannon says, that's a great plan. Sunday is my favorite day of shakeouts and nothing. Nada. Sounds divine. You had me at nothing. You had me at nothing. So now, speaking of Easter, letting Jesus take the wheel. I let my wife take the wheel. I said, I know it's his day. He has risen. My wife rises at about 8 or 9, a little bit later anyway. So I might do the shakeout. No, she'll come with me. I get her up a little bit early. But after that, I give her the keys. Chiavis, all her. She tells me this is like where we're going. We got plans, historic district, architectural design, that interior design. My living room is now a new color. That stuff happens. And I got to notice it. Okay. Traditionally, not a strong suit. If the hair length changes by 6 inches or changes to a completely different color, you're going to catch a compliment from me. I'm going to notice. Otherwise, I'm not going to notice. If the furniture is all completely turned around, there's a 50-50 chance that I'm going to notice. If the walls are a new color, I'm probably going to notice. But you just got to lower the bar and the expectations, the eye for detail. If there's a list, if you had like a list of like who you'd want to be a detective, there would be at the top, Columbo, Angela Lansbury, lots of other midlife references here. Probably those are probably tapping into Gen X and Boomer up there with those references. My mom used to watch those shows. And then at the bottom of that list, no matter how many hundreds of thousands of people are on it, I'm going to be at the bottom. So it's like, I don't see it coming. Every end of a movie, I was driving in my car home from The Sixth Sense. Was he dead the whole time? It doesn't happen very fast for me. I don't, like 3 shots into a movie, my wife hits me on the shoulder. Aliens. Now, I don't like spoiler alerts. If I'm not invested in the movie, I don't really care. Spoil it for me. That's fine. But sometimes I really don't like it. So she knows. She avoids it. I think early on, she was spoiling them a lot. Like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, she was spoiling more of them for me. And I was like, I don't know how to tell you this. please cheat on me before you ever spoil a movie. I don't like spoilers at all, please, and then I just had to help her too, like she would go see a movie with her mom, she would go see Sisters, and then she would come home and I was like, "How was it? Tell me the ending. I only want to know the ending of this movie. Get it out of your system because I know you want to tell me how it ends, And so that was one vice. And then she just over time she's like, okay. And I don't know how, but my middle child, same thing. Like they talk through the movie. And I'm like, guys, I'm no fun. Okay, I'm no fun, but please don't spoil the movie. Because once I know, then I know, right? And then you got to watch out because you can never trust somebody who tells you, okay, I'm not going to spoil the movie, but I want to tell you this one thing. I just, I'm not going to give away the ending. I'm not going to, but can I just say this one thing? Guaranteed to spoil it for you. That's it. That's it. It'll be like, it's just the ending is like, leads you to, it's like, with that kind of movie, how it's going to end anyway. And I'm like, stop, stop. It's over. It's spoiled. You spoiled it. There's no need for me. I can never, you can't go back. It's like whenever you're on court, I've never been on trial, but if it was like, please, I've seen it in movies, omit uh, whatever the guy just said. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, whatever. Like, just admit that, pretend like you never heard it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So apparently, Mr. Voodoo here says a hot cross bun is a fluffy bun spiced with cinnamon, orange, and raisins. The cross on top is a tradition for Easter. Boston Marathon is all about the last 10 miles. Say some oomph for it. Well, thank you for the information on both fronts. I am the long run that I did. I'm gonna eat the shit out of some hot cross buns. For the record, you had me at cinnamon. I eat cinnamon everything. Hot churros, cinnamon rolls. It's a little boy inside me, and I call him Andy. Little Andy loves cinnamon, and we treat him with respect. We spoil him with cinnamon treats. He wants them every day. We don't do them every day. We can't. We're midlife, but anyway. Yeah, last 10 miles. So I did this over distance long run in training, and I tried to pretend like I was running the course, even though it was flat, because it was going to be like an aerobic workout. And I didn't want to tax my legs because I'm still in training. So I started gray zone and then I moved in. And then when I was running, like say my max marathon peak is like 173 heart rate. Once I go over there, I'm burning matches. I kept it at 165. I know what that effort is. And that's kind of how I want to do most of the marathon from 5 to 16. Do you guys know Peter Bromka? I've heard he's got one of those last names. You just know in high school, everybody's like, yo, Bromka, Bromka. It's a cool name. He's run it like 11 times. He's a writer. He's a really good writer. And he writes on running. He's got a Substack if you're a Substacker. And he's got I watched a course. I signed up for it. And it was like a webinar of sorts on how to run the Boston Marathon. Now, when that meeting happened to be my wife's birthday. My wife, happy birthday, Tiffany. Queen is now 30. And we were at my in-laws and we were having dinner and there was cake and it was great and all was good. All was merry. And unfortunately, running isn't everything. So I couldn't be on that call. It was recorded and I listened to it. And now he's got something on Spotify with like how to run this course. So he's got like 3 different standards. Like you got the person who does the classic. You run all up into the 10 miles, kind of whatever. Run to mile 16. Okay, you're okay. Then you race the last 10. Then you could do this other method, which what I was thinking was really interesting to me. Yeah, you don't barrel down the hills, right? But you don't fight them either. You're kind of coasting. And then there's the first 5 miles. There's the middle section. You got marathon pace effort or marathon pace. And then when you get to the hills, one easy, two hard, times three. So easy 16, hard 17, 18, easy 19, hard 20, hard 21, easy 22, then 23, 24, and then 25, 26. You just whatever you have left. So that has a lot of appeal to me, but I'm putting a lot of faith in that I remembered that correctly. Because what if it was supposed to be hard 16, easy 17, 18, and I just did it backwards? I just screwed up my whole race because I didn't remember it correctly. And I don't know the course, but I mean, that has a lot of appeal. My man MK from All Heart said, "Hey, you know what? Some good advice here is that chill up those hills. You don't have to, but like when you get to cresting it, bust a move. Just put a little pep, right? Get to that." And I've heard McMillan say that before too. So you pick a point just on the other side of the hill, like that you run to, and then you kind of coast that, and then you can make up a lot of the time on the back side of that hill if you do that. But I'm not. I mean, if we're mile 16, I'm not going to be trying to bang those out. I'm going to be still a little bit conservative. I'm not fighting for every second. In my opinion, also, whatever fitness you're in, it's not the hardest thing in the world to push your body to that limit. It is for me for a 5K, right? Getting my heart rate to 185 beats a minute and holding that for 20 minutes, 18 minutes, however long it takes me. I got to be ready. I got to be fresh. I got to be ready to go. I got to be willing to suffer. I got to really it's hard for me to push myself to that, right? But like more on the endurance side of it. I think a lot of people fade in marathons. This is my personal opinion. I think a lot of people fade because they pick a pace that's slightly too aggressive than what they should be running according to all the other indicators, because we give ourselves best case scenarios. We see a V dot and we say, well, I ran a 5K in that. That means I can run this in the marathon. So, and this is my pace on a flat course, on a cool day. Yes, right. But if you start too hot, you just fade towards the end. So, like my 302.24 in Houston, like the 10K in training, the half marathon in training, all pointed to that I could run that exactly that for the marathon. And I crossed the halfway in 1:30:30 on pace for about a 3:01. And I just started to fade in the last few miles and ended up right there. Now, if you way overshoot it, you can bonk and you can get yourself into some big trouble. But I think a lot of people looking, oh, maybe it was the fueling, maybe it was this. It's like, or maybe you're just not as fast as you set off to be, right? And especially with all the hills, it could get complicated in Boston. So I'm definitely going to ease into it. Now, all those race predictors, which I know traditionally, like historically on the channel, I'm kind of a nerd cock about it. I've been like, oh, this one, this is that. I don't care anymore. I'm done. I figure I'll run the race and that'll determine what I can run. VDOT seems to be pretty spot on most of the time for me. And it says high 247, 248, somewhere there. CR plot says me like, just under 250. Kaizen is like 246. And Koros doesn't know me. Koros obviously doesn't know me. It's like 239. Yeah, right, bro. So not running to any of those paces, by the way. I'm just going to be running by the effort. I think, you got to factor in a few extra minutes on the tangents, maybe a minute to 2 minutes on that. There doesn't seem to be a lot of tangents. It's just like this snake in a couple of turns. But I think that I can land somewhere in the low 250s. That would be my guess with the solid effort, if I had to guess. But we never know, because when I set out on effort, my watch is going to beep at me and it's going to tell me what I'm running. And that's what I'm going to run. I would not be surprised if it said 617. I would not be surprised if it said 637. I'd be like, okay, that's where we are today. Stevie76 says, don't spoil the Titanic movie. I won't. Oh, that one will be, you know me, I will hold it. Now, the statute of limitations does have to exist with spoilers. There has to be a certain point. Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. You ain't seen that movie in 27 years, then the statute is expired. This gets tricky with TV though, because I realized something. When shows now do come out all at the same time, a lot of times, but like Disney Plus, it doesn't. And it's week to week to week to week again, right? Like back in the early 20 years ago when Lost was coming out every time, right? So then you would get where people would say, hey, I can't believe so and so. And you're like, what? I haven't seen it. They're like, well, you don't care enough because you didn't see it when it came out yesterday. So if you didn't care enough to catch it, then you deserve to get it spoiled for you. And I don't agree with that. People are busy. They have lives. They recorded it back in the DVR days. They could watch it later. Okay. But you got to give people time to see it. Maybe till the next season. There's certainly a statute of limitations, though. At a certain point, it's kind of like, come on. All right, we gotta close it out soon. We got some appointments, got meetings. How's Thursday for you, Greg? Old Greg reference. Not so midlife. Maybe it is midlife. All right. Stevie76 says, happy birthday to Mrs. Midlife. Indeed. I think that's almost a good way to go out. So Shannon says, Bronco does have really good mile by mile on it. I feel like there's so many different strategies, though, and I disagree about positive splitting from some strategies I've seen. Mile 16's downhill is probably where I wrecked my quads the first time. I'm really just ready for my quads to suffer. And then, yeah, like no matter what, it's going to be painful. But I think, what was it? One of those ones, Courtney DeWalter, just like robot, just like machine. I just got to keep those legs pumping, and that's what I'm going to focus on. There's one that was like, check the gears. I don't know if that was I don't know where I heard that one. So it's like, if you have like a mental countdown, and for me, I stole this one from the flow rope guy. I don't know his name. I forget his name. He said, like, to practice on your form, you can check for gum on the back of your shoe. Ooh, just cramped on the hammy there. Or, another one is like checking for the front. And when you do that, you're bringing your hips forward. So I kind of just look over my shoulder to just make sure I'm bringing my legs up all the way through. So I'm going to check my gears like as I'm going through to like stay on form late in the race. Umberto's in here. He says, see you in Boston, brother. I'm looking forward to it. Luis Becerra's in here. He says, yo, WGO. He didn't say that, but that's what I'm saying. Jen Piazza's in here saying, see you in Boston. I can't wait to see all you guys. And next week, why not? I don't see why we wouldn't. Oh, maybe I have work because I took off 5 days. I might have to work on Wednesday. We'll see. If not, I'll make a note if we're not having it. So, thanks for taking time out of your day to chat about all things running in Boston. And I'll see a lot of you guys in Boston. And yeah, thanks.